Alright, welcome! This is my 1969 Airstream Overlander. Just arrived Thursday, a couple days ago. So my name's Jim. I'm going to be renovating this Airstream and bringing you videos throughout the course of the renovation, the vintage Airstream renovation. Just want to go over a little bit of the goals of the renovation and then kind of walk you around a little bit and go from there. So I'm going to have a series of videos on topics from pre-construction, which is kind of what I'm in now, designing. I'm going to do a gut interior. I'm going to finish out. I'll show you around on next videos. I'm going to do I'm going to remove the skins, the first thing on the interior, and gut it all out of what's remaining. I purchased it as it is. It's pretty much 90% gutted out already. There's a little bit of a bathroom behind the camera here, and some of the radio components over there from the original. And obviously I'm gonna well, I don't know if it's obvious, it's probably not on camera, but there's some major softness to the subfloor, so I'm going to take all that out. It's going to be a shell off. I'm going to do a clean and waterproof the exterior, and do a shine on it, put a seal coat. I'm going to remove the belly pan, obviously, and then pretty much all 100% gut renovation. I'll lift the shell off. I'm going to replace the subfloor, do some structural, whatever's required in the trailer. So that's all kind of pre-construction. I'm going to have a video also on designing, kind of the steps I went through. I have a design degree, and I've renovated 2 flats and 3 flats in Chicago for many years, long time. 20 years or at least, maybe more. But I moved down to Florida last year, and I got inspired by the Airstream community. Actually, all of you out there, many of you out there that have already done it, inspired me, and this video is sort of pushing it forward to the future. People that might are considering it as well for themselves. So I'm going to do this. This is going to be a green renovation. I'm going to take this to a kind of a sustainable, environmental, healthy indoor living. It seems like a no-brainer to me to go that route to whatever degree that one might want to achieve those goals. For me, I'm going to be focusing on energy is a big one. I should back up and just say that I renovated back in 2015. I renovated my a row home in Chicago, and it was gutted out, and it was an old 2-flat, and I converted it to a single family. And I used the LEED for homes, which is the LEED. I think it's leadership and environmental and energy design or something like that. And you get points. And I received a platinum certification on that, which is the highest ranking, which means that it was a super high efficient, super green. So I'm going to be using those principles as however I can here within the Airstream. And the Airstream is a lot smaller footprint. It's technically different, obviously, because of the shell, the construction, the aluminum, the thickness in the walls are much different, subfloor. It's just a different animal, but there are principles that I want to apply to it that I used in that project and other projects prior to that that I think would be pretty cool in Airstream. It's sort of going in that direction, certainly with boondocking and this sort of independence from being tapped into the campground or your home site or whatever it is. But I think, generally speaking, I think housing and any kind of, whether it's tiny home housing or whether it's trailer housing or whether it's your own residents, are moving in the direction of being independent of the grid, and that's kind of what I'm trying to achieve here. So energy, net zero, off-grid, that's number 1. Number 2 are the material choices. I want to make healthy material choices. No VOCs, beginning to get into the mainstream. Home Depot and the big box stores are actually beginning to carry these things, which is awesome. I want to talk a little bit about the Forestry Stewardship Council and using materials that are sustainable and replenishable. In this scale of a project, it's pretty minor, but again, it's the principles that I'm trying to apply to this smaller scale that I used on a larger scale in the past, and maybe I'll push it forward and maybe get some of you to consider some of these for your project. Water is another big one. Again, not a lot of water consumption in a trailer by limitation of the system, but I do want to apply principles and consider water, maybe even rainwater, and maybe using some of that as well. And then education, and that's part of this series that I'm going to be doing here, is to sort of share my thoughts, share my ideas, share my process, and the way I'm doing it, and my studies, and how I choose to go about this through videos. So I've got a lot of already pretty cool stuff that I'm considering. So for this video, I'm not going to go through all of them. There's 6 series. I laid it out on grid. I'll try to find this document and put it on a link so people can check it out. But basically what it is, real quick, is there's the pre-construction, which I just went through, which ends with the shell liftoff, and then repairing the trailer and lookouts and all that stuff. So that's what I call pre-construction. And then it's going to go into the rough construction, and that's where you start to do the subfloor, the rough plumbing, the rough electric, the walls, all that stuff. I'm going to do a video more or less for each of those. Windows and doors, roofing system, exhaust and ventilation, another big key, because indoor air quality, IAQ they call it, is really important to me. So on a small space like this especially, I'm not going to have propane here. I don't want the gases and the fumes from the propane coming into the indoor environment. Not anything major, like if you have propane, not a major thing. You open a window or a door and most of it can clear out pretty quickly. But just again, applying the principles and trying to get off of, that's a fossil fuel, so I want to get away from that and go towards sustainable, renewable, which is solar. Let's see, the roofing systems, the rough framing, and then the flooring. We're going to get into all that. I've got some really great resources on flooring, sustainable flooring products that basically don't give off chemicals or emissions that are toxic or in any way detrimental to our breathing and our indoor air quality. Again, that's an IAQ, indoor air quality is sort of a metric. So that's step 2, stage 2. Stage 3 are the major systems. We've got the plumbing, which I mentioned actually, the baths, showers, the heating and air conditioning. Each of these will be sort of its own independent video again. The solar system, which is the solar, PVs, photovoltaic panels. What else? The rough electrical, the specialty wiring, and then I'm going to do something. I think I'm going to do a blower door test. Basically, if I do that, I'm going to have to do it now and later. Now is kind of a joke because I don't know if you can see, but there's about a 2.5 to 3 foot hole in my floor, subfloor right now. There's lots of holes here. So the idea now would be to test, put a blower, a fan basically in the door and suck out and measure how much air loss is being lost just when it's all sealed up and as tight as it can be right now, right? You get a rating. And then you do your renovation and then you do that again and you should be really a much tighter number, right? So I'll get into more of that later. But so that's the major systems in stage 3. Stage 4 is going to be the unfinished surfaces, cleaning the skins, cleaning the interior insulation. I'm going to talk a little. I think I'm going to use a spray foam insulation. I've seen a lot of different methods out there. There's very little space between the skins and the exterior, and you've got aluminum, and then you've got aluminum tracking. So there's a lot of thermal bridging there that brings in a lot of heat from the exterior, and that's a major issue in any Airstream in terms of controlling that as best you can. Both for cooling and for heating purposes. So I'm going to get into that. Let's see, the cabinetry, yada yada yada. So then we're going to get into the finished surfaces, countertops, tiles, the final systems, final electrical, final plumbing, all of that, and then what? And then like the minor stuff. I don't know if I have a lot of detail on that, but like knobs and that kind of stuff. But anyways, that's about it for now. I've got my little trusty sketchbook here. My first video I think is going to be how to design. How do I'm going to give, I think I have 6 tips on how to design, because a lot of you may not have the design skills, but it's very easy. But I highly recommend that you take the time to actually lay it out, sketch it out on paper, do as much as you can, do 10, 20, 30, 50, whatever amount of iterations of design, and then lay it out, and then just to make sure that it all works out. So I think that's going to be my first video. Come on along with me. I hope you join me. If you're interested, just hit subscribe and follow this channel. I'm going to be building it up as time goes on. And that's about it. If you have any comments or input, let me know in the comments below. I really want to hear what you guys have to say. If you have ideas for me or questions, put it down there. And I'm certainly open-ended and gonna make this a fun project. This is the first of what I hope to be many projects like this. So I'm looking looking for more opportunities out there as well. But I found mine, so this is the first start. It's awesome. So thanks for joining me, and I look forward to continuing this journey together. Take care.